The Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, Buckeye basketball fans. I'm Timmy Hall here at our network studios. It was close. It was really close down to the final possession. Didn't beat the bad guys today. 86-83. The Block M, University of Michigan, walks out of there with a victory today. So the Buckeyes are going to have to search for some more W's. They're 15-11 now, 7-8 in the conference. They're going to have to find some more W's starting on Thursday against Northwestern. Quick shout out to all you guys, the fans. If you're leaving the arena, if you were there, that was amazing. It was good to see a home weekend game, a big-time game, and you guys brought it. And they were just one possession short when it was all said and done. A lot more coming up on our show. Jake Diebler's back in the press conference room here shortly, but we're always joined by one of our fine assistant coaches as well today. That is Joel Justice. Joel is joining us right now. Appreciate the time. What was the story for you? A lot of people are going to look to the front line, and it's Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden and how the Buckeye forwards weren't quite able to hold those guys back today, especially on the glass, Joel. What was the difference?
Well, I mean, I tell you, I think you just hit on it also. You know, so, I mean, the Buckeye Nation unreal today, you know, and that's, you know, amazing with the weather, everything going against you, you know, getting here. But my goodness, created an incredible home environment and really in a game that, you know, we weren't our best, you know, and when you give up 19 offensive rebounds, you know, and there's just too many busted coverages, you know, when you're playing a team that is powerful like they are. But you know, it's one of those things that at this time of year, you know, I think we're trending in the right direction. We're playing our best basketball. You just got to be really, really good when you're playing, you know, a team that's best in the league right now. Yeah,
you said it, Joel. I'll go there with you. I would not have thought if it was. I'm looking down and seeing 46-31 on the boards. You mentioned some of the defensive breakdowns there in the second half, and then Micah Parrish, who's been great, is 2 for 11. How would this be a game where you hit a three on the final possession and you can win? I would have thought it'd be down by 15 and kind of struggling a bit, but what does that say to you that you're able to be in this when some of those things did not go right today?
Well, I mean, I think it's disappointing, you know, to be honest with you, that you give up, you know, 86. You score 83, you're supposed to, you know, feel like you got a chance to win the game, especially at home. And, you know, when they get 46 points in the paint, 21 second chance points, I mean, that's, you know, those are, you know, glaring, you know, they just scream at you, you know, from a defensive standpoint. You know, we got to the free throw line 27 times, which is, you know, something that has not been our strength at times, you know. So now offensively, you know, hey, look, we did, you know, some really, really good things. And defensively, once again, it's just some things that we've got to tighten up. You know, you give them credit for making the plays to I think, you know, shine a light on our mistakes.
Honestly, I know like he's been a rotational player at times this year, but you know, a guy like Ivan Yegovan's got some room to grow. We can all see that. But also, I think when this roster was assembled, there was maybe some thought that Aaron and Sean Stewart would have more time on the floor together. What were those conversations like looking at Michigan's roster, how they were kind of, you know, built on Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden in the front court, but having some good guards as well, a lot to handle. What were those talks like and how you wound up, you know, utilizing the rotations today?
Well, I think when you looked at their team and as we broke it down, you know, from a defensive standpoint, I mean, you'll see that we had a guard on Wolf most of the night.
Yeah.
You know, to where you know, with him, you know, being such a playmaker, you know, 5 assists, you know, tonight. You know, he's obviously a difficult matchup, you know, and he made a couple plays down the stretch that hurt you. And just, you know, being Franklin, good players make big plays. You know, we made some as well. You know, and I think if you go look at it that way, I mean, there's a stretch in that game where the game was at a high level. And it was back and forth, and I think it ended up being, you know, 61-61 at a timeout. And there was some good basketball being played.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that obviously they're a good team, and they don't trip and fall into being 20-5.
So the last play was the idea to set up some kind of three. I know there were 24 seconds, so there could have been a lot of actions there before you got what you wanted. I know Devin came into the paint there at the top of the key, and it looked like maybe Micah could have been trying to get open on the wing, but ultimately the shot was the shot. I mean, it's just, you got to be devastated there. Everyone, I could see all the looks and the faces on the bench when Bruce's shot comes up an air ball after he gets Danny Wolf to hit the deck there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to create confusion, which is what we did. And there was a lot of contact there on the first, kind of ghost screen with Junie Mobley and Bruce. But ultimately got one matchup, then you get another matchup that you like. And hey, we get the ball to the paint, and hey, you got to live with your guys. And, got a good look. And sometimes they go down, sometimes they don't.
Well, it stings, but you guys are still in it here. You got a home game against Northwestern. Everything has to be fully focused to that, and then the West Coast trip right after.
No, we've got everything right ahead of us, and that's what Coach was talking about immediately with our guys, and this one should sting, and as it should. But no, I mean, we have a great opportunity at home Thursday, and once again, I mean, we've got opportunities ahead of us. That's the great thing about our league is, there's opportunities, night after night, and I know this group is going to respond the right way.
Joel Justice, assistant coach for the Buckeyes. Thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. All right, appreciate everybody. Safe travels on the way home. Please drive safe.
Yep.
Thanks so much for coming out.
Yep, absolutely. You too. You guys as coaches get home safe as well. I know the drive isn't as far, but man, that was I didn't know if I was going to get into work on time today because there was a jackknifed Amazon Prime semi-truck on Interstate 70. So it was a little bit difficult to get here. 86-83 the final as Michigan knocks off Ohio State. Jake Diebler's press conference coming up. It's the Encova Insurance postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye basketball falls to Michigan at home in a tough one. Heartbreaker. Bruce Thornton down by 2 had a wide open look from 7 feet with about 4 or 5 ticks left. Broke down Danny Wolf, airballed the floater, which is just a vintage Bruce Thornton shot. and nobody could have felt worse than Bruce right there in that moment. I just was hearing Jake Diebler started his presser. He first started talking about the disappointment. I love hearing it, too. Frustrated, angry, he said about this one, and how they just weren't quite on it, getting to the glass and getting that initial box out. Sometimes it was the forwards, Golden and Wolf, hitting the glass, hard to keep off. Sometimes it was their guards flying in, but let's kick it back out there to the shot. Jake Diebler at the podium.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We wanted to be – I thought we did a good job, in the second half of taking care of the ball. Adam, I think we wanted to be aggressive and – force them into more turnovers. And, we didn't execute that part as well as we would have liked. But I thought we did a good job on the flip side of taking care of the ball, especially in the second half.
And this feels like it could be something with you and Dusty both being in your first full years at your universities. This feels like it could be the start of what's already been a good rivalry, but maybe a new era of it. Do you feel some of that coming out of this game, even though you're obviously disappointed with the result, that like we could be seeing a whole lot more of these types of games the next couple of years as you guys go against each other?
Yeah, listen, I love being a part of this game, so much so that I was asking anybody that would listen to make this a doubleheader every single year when we were out in California. I know there's a lot that goes into that, but I think our fans deserve that. Both schools deserve that, and I love being in this game. This game means a lot. And but again, like I said before the game, this rivalry is bigger than any kind of single storyline. It was bigger, than any storyline going into this game. I think it's bigger than really any storyline coming out of this game outside of, like, let's play this game twice a year if we can make that work, because, this was a great atmosphere. Our fans deserve to have this game here every single year. And I think, theirs probably as well. So, but my biggest concern is for our fans. Our fans showed out. They were great. And, we felt their energy, and they deserve to have this game every year, in my opinion.
Yeah, kind of along those same lines. You were just talking about the fans. You've been begging for one of these weekend home games. You finally get one, and the place is packed. Like, is this kind of – I know you're not looking for moral victories, but, like, hey, this is what this program can be on a week-in, week-out basis, like getting this kind of draw, having that kind of atmosphere. Because, people think of the shot, it's like the place is dead. But, like, it seemed like it was rocking today.
There's probably a better kind of time and place to talk through, everything that goes into, atmosphere in this building. But the one thing I know is our fans care, and certainly, scheduling played a part this year. Again, I think it's something to reflect upon after the season. But, you felt the energy in there. It was great. Communication, the noise actually was impacted our communication at times, which is it's a good problem to have, and I'll take that every single day. So I'm thankful for the way Buckeye Nation showed out, and that energy was phenomenal. And certainly, as we build this, I think we have a responsibility, right, to do our part, to keep moving forward and keep building this. And then, yeah, we absolutely need all the help we can get. And, again, just thankful for the way they showed out. But that's probably – there's a lot that goes into that question that, maybe after the season is better to address.
To what extent did Aaron's foul trouble maybe affect some of the plans for handling Vladislav and Danny in this game? Yeah,
obviously a lot of fouls in a short amount of minutes. We anticipated being able to play him more. So it was impactful. It impacted our, ability to get to he and Sean together at times as well. So, but I think we have a few guys here who they got to grow in this foul issue. We have to. Now they're young guys that specifically keep getting in foul trouble, but we got to grow and move forward, and we're working on it every single day. Some technical things, getting some reps after practice to help them with that. But it impacted some of our original plans. But I thought some guys we made adjustments on the fly and did some good things.
How do you avoid an emotional letdown coming off of this game? You touched on it a little bit earlier, but obviously a lot of passion and intensity tied up in this rivalry. Just you've got Northwestern coming to town. How do you refocus for that?
Yeah, well, I think, listen, I'm not opposed to, again, taking today to hurt and to be upset. But this group has responded in a great way all season long, and I have zero reason to believe it'll be any different. Like I said, every single game we play right now, we've earned the right to play in big-time, meaningful games, and the Northwestern game is not void of that. That is a big game, and it is meaningful. And, you know, our guys, like we have some goals in front of us started this season that we can still achieve, and we've earned that. So I'm not. We'll continue to practice extremely hard. We'll continue to, you know, we're not practicing as long as we were a little bit ago, but we'll practice hard. We'll prep hard. We'll prep well. And, you know, Northwestern's got to get our best shot. Absolutely.
Kind of going off of that, how paramount is it for this team? You talked about moving on quickly. How paramount is it not just to, you know, continue boosting the resume here down in the last 5 games of the regular season, but also to, you know, kind of get some momentum, get some consistency as you go into March now?
Yeah, it's important. I think we've had good momentum now for a significant stretch, and we've been playing some really good basketball. Even in a couple of the losses we've had, we've played some really good ball. So I think we have momentum. We certainly don't want to lose it. We got to keep going, keep building, and you know, it starts with, you know, certainly I got a great deal of respect for Chris Collins and what he's done at Northwestern, and you know their program, like, so. We are going to approach that game just like we have every other game. And it is important for us to continue to put our best foot forward, and we need to do it longer stretches. Had some good stretches tonight. Not enough. We got to make sure we have more of those against Northwestern.
Yeah, I think it's the 5th time you guys have lost a game by 1 possession, 4th time in the Big Ten. And you did have the Maryland that obviously went your way, but when it gets down to those last-minute situations, I'm sure you work on these in practice and everything. And as you said, you got a shot that you were hoping to get. I mean, just your thought, I guess, about handling those situations and the opportunities that are still there to get over the hump and win those type of games.
Yeah, well, I think we've shown great improvement in those settings of our execution and our ability to get a good look. And so, you know, you go back, the 3 that Micah hit, Bruce getting to the paint, like those are some great execution plays. So we've grown through some of those really, you know, narrow results. But I understand, and we continue, you know, really almost we have a saying in our program, be your best late. And so we work on that daily. Sometimes it's just something as like shooting shots at the very end of practice, game shots, so you're getting reps when you're fatigued. Other times, you know, it's executing very specific situations and when to foul, when not to foul, and all of those things. So I think because of that work and time we've spent on it, we've seen improvement. And you know, my biggest frustration with today was some of the things that happened throughout the flow of the game, where we've really been doing a good job, and we made some critical mistakes, and good teams, they make you pay. And that's why we weren't quite able to get this game to a position where they were maybe chasing us. But I think Steve, to answer your question, we're executing better and better in those situations. I thought today was evident of that. You know, the execution goes both ways. You know, we force misses, we didn't get the rebound. And so we've showed some real growth.
With Aaron fouling out with 10-ish minutes left and the size that Michigan has, why did Yvonne not fit into the flow of this game? I know he's played in the last 9, and when you get out-rebounded by 15, I guess why did he not appear in this game at all?
Yeah, I felt like Sean was really doing a much better job in the second half rebounding. And, you know, offensively, as we were kind of chasing a little bit, I just felt like we needed different lineup for offensive purposes too. So Sean was, you know, challenged him at halftime, and he really, I thought, rebounded well in the second half. So that's why, you know, we kept it the way it was. You know, I think certainly hindsight, like it's a great question, and I got to go back and watch and see if there was a moment where maybe we should have put Yvonne in, but you know that was my thinking in the second half. I thought Sean and Devin were doing, you know, we're really being physical, and obviously the ball screen coverage for us with those two was a concern. It's fine, yeah.
Saw you share a moment about an hour before tip-off with Roddy. What do you say to him in that moment?
Yeah, I think conversation there should remain between he and I, but I've said this from the beginning. When he was here, he was literally like family. If his parents would call me if they felt like he needed something. Like it was just we were that close. So I think just in that moment, he knows how much I cared about him, and I think that feeling was mutual when he was here. And so, it was a quick, I think, embrace and quick word, but prefer to keep that between us. But it was good. All right, thanks, guys.
There is head coach Jake Diebler following, and you can hear it, right? And you almost do like that. I like how he takes on that question about a guy like Ivan Yegevon. Like I asked Joel Justice, who is the assistant coach, that much of his job is handling the play of the big men. And I know he's got to be racking his brain at night, a guy like Joel, like trying to figure out how can I maximize the play out of Aaron and Sean Stewart. And I agree with everything with what Jake said. In the end of the day, Sean Stewart actually had 0 fouls and 10 rebounds. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's a step. Now, how do we then look at that fact where we have not been seeing the rebounding numbers from the front line? Mainly, I throw Sean Stewart and Aaron Bradshaw into that mix. And Aaron had 1 rebound and 5 fouls. And there was where it dissipated right there. And the question about Nyegevon, he doesn't really belittle the questioner or say, well, that's obviously, could you see we had a shot to win the game at the end? No, he actually takes it, thinks about it, chews on it, says, I'm going back to the film, going to look at if there was a spot to put him in. But I understand it. Like I asked the question about Ivan Yegevon, and all of us that have seen him play, it is like a ongoing thing with that young man, just understanding the system that he's playing. And a lot of times he's 7'1", and that's what you can't teach. But trying to get Ivan positioned in the right spots on the floor and understand that, I think that's what you're talking about. And when you are facing an offense like this that has a lot of complex movements, and the way that Golden and Danny Wolf are working with each other, and how one of these bigs is always crashing the basket and they're attacking offensive glass, that can be a lot. And I think that could have led to some foul issues for Ivan the same way. But just like to hear the way that Jake takes that on, and you can tell how bothered he is, which is what you want, right? You want to be bothered by close, difficult losses like this. It's brutal. It's tough to stomach. You're right there. You're getting beat in a lot of areas of a basketball game where you don't think you can get beat like that and be sticking around. 46-31 on the glass. You're 18-27. You have 9 misses from the free throw line. You get there a ton, but you only shoot at 66%. And one of your better players here lately, who has to be feeling awful right now, I feel bad for him, Micah Parrish, 2 for 11. And so many of his looks were great ones. Bruce even passed him up. Passed on a wide open left corner 3. Remember, it was right before Micah hit the left corner 3. Bruce made a shot in the lane, almost the same shot that would have been the eventual game-tying bucket. Micah was wide open. He kind of looked. He was like, nope, took it back into the lane, made the bucket. That's what happens when you're struggling the way that he is. But the fact that Micah hit that last 3 and was confident enough to do it, that showed you some good signs going into the next game. Before we have our final segment and look ahead to the next game, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Buckeye basketball from Learfield.
Always your home for Buckeye basketball.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Your flagship station for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Little thing that Diebler and Dusty May commented on in their postgame pressers that I want to hit before we're all done tonight. Final score, 86-83, Ohio State falls to Michigan. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Now through March 3rd, get 2.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for $399 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The Fan. Ohio sports destination.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. Buckeyes fall to Michigan. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
High-scoring offense and lockdown defense are the ingredients of a winning team. For every other ingredient, Buckeye fans trust Giant Eagle and Market District. Ready-to-eat prepared foods, a thrilling selection of fresh favorites, and everyday value from our family of brands are game day go-tos. Plus, like the Buckeyes pile up points on the court, you can score perks and earn free gas and groceries with My Perks. Giant Eagle, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Back here at our network studios, I'm Timmy Hall. Let's wrap things up on Ohio State's home loss to Michigan today. 86-83. You got the ball in your best player's hands. You trust him. You had 24 seconds on the clock. You're down by 2. I was just praying for Danny Wolf to miss one of those 2 free throws to give you that chance. Just to the way the end-of-game situations go with different coaches, I'm not actually entirely sure what Dusty May's foul, no foul philosophy is. We know that Jake Diebler is a foul guy. If the Buckeyes were up by 3 and say Michigan had the ball with 5 or 6 seconds left, they'd want a floor foul to not let them attempt to tie the game. You guys get the picture on that. It's different for every coach. I am in the school of you foul in those situations. So I wanted that ball down 2, and then to get the timeout, we're screaming like, Jake, you know you're going to take this timeout to set something up. He did. And you could see with the time that they had to burn, because you don't want to go too quick. You want to do some things and run some actions at the top of the key, and unless you're going to get somebody like rolling wide open to the hoop for a dunk, then I suppose you take that and just try to play defense down the end. But I really desperately wanted to get John Mobley, Bruce, maybe even Micah Parrish, one of those three guys with an open three to try to win it or lose it right there on that shot. Just with the way that this game had gone. Aaron Bradshaw's long since fouled out of this game. He wasn't giving you rebounding when he was in the game, but still, just to have that length, that size, a guy that can move a little bit on the floor. Thought you were going to need that for another 5 minutes with the way the rebounding had gone with Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf and even Roddy Gale. Give it up for Roddy. He had 9 points and 8 rebounds in this one. And that was obviously an exciting factor to this game to see that first time when Roddy checked in, because he's coming off the bench now, when he D'd up Bruce Thornton in some full court pressure. And you just kind of like, all right, let's go. Like friend on friend. Like those guys still text, but when it's time to go, business is business. It's just a crazy world we live in that rosters are changing so much now. And with NIL, you've got really Bruce Thornton and Devin Royal, even though Devin wasn't a full-time starter last year, they're the guys. When you look at the Ohio State roster here, Roddy Gale obviously could have been a part of it. There are other guys that could have been a part of it. Scotty Middleton hit a game winner for Seton Hall, the freshman last year. Just some of the shockers from last year to this year, even with a new coach, because you thought that hiring from within with Jake Diebler, maybe you were going to see less of an exodus in the portal, but still that didn't happen. But not to get off track, that was a factor in this game. Roddy Gale leaving the Buckeyes, going to that place of all places. And then, of course, Dusty May, for obvious reasons, involved in the coaching search here at Ohio State. But both Diebler and Dusty May, I'm very glad that they brought this up. They both talked about how this should be a game, and they're 100% right. I know that scheduling is trickier now because you added all these teams, but how hard could it be? I'm not even entirely sure, and I'm the Buckeye basketball postgame guy, if we have a set in stone home and away in conference. I thought we did. I thought we maybe had one like in football when this switched. People thought you'd get the Michigan rivalry and Penn State, but it wound up just being Michigan for football. If you're going to have this in basketball, I really would like that if you could get one. Forget about Ohio State, Indiana, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan State. I'd just take Ohio State and Michigan. Play here at the Shot, play up there at Chrysler, home and away. Just like that. Just give us that one. Make it happen. The other thing that Dusty May said that was complimentary, and you know, a lot of times you'll say this because you want to feel, I don't think that you would even need to throw this in. You should still feel great about a really good road win. This was a very, very tough place to play today and a great victory for Michigan to come down to Columbus, beat your rival on the road and stay hot. 5-game winning streak in this conference. I thought better about that coming in because that's about as long as a heater goes right now. It's tough to win in this league, and for Michigan to have been on 5 straight, I thought that would aid the Buckeyes to get the job done today. But Dusty said this is, without a doubt, an NCAA tournament team. So take that for however you're going to take it. That's what he said about Ohio State. They got a road ahead of them, though. And now at 15-11, 7-8 in conference, still though 8th in the league. I don't think many Buckeye Hoops fans, when they were on their way to Mackey before that game was played, if they lost that game, they were 10-9. There were a lot of people bailing and running for the hills on this team, but they're still trending as a tournament team, but they can't stop doing their work. We know that. They got Northwestern at home on Thursday. Then the roadies at UCLA and USC. They'll stay up there for almost a week in that trip. It's crazy. Then they're back home for Nebraska, team that's got some length on them that just beat them at home. So hopefully you want to get that one back. And then Indiana on the road. I think at least they need to go 3-2. Hopefully they can go 4-1 on that stretch and get Indiana on the road and get one of those two on the West Coast and go and try to get some work done first couple of games at the Big Ten tournament as well. I don't think they're going to be, if they do that, if they go 3-2 or 4-1, I don't think they'll be in a position where they absolutely must win at the Big Ten tourney, but I think it wouldn't hurt. Anything you can do to maybe get off the Dayton line or the bubble line. But hey, they still have to keep playing to do that. But I think it can be done. They just have to, they've got some things with their team that I don't know if they're going to change a lot down the stretch with how we've seen their bigs play. They just have to do their best. And the guys that pace this team have to keep giving it their all every single night. And that's Bruce, that's Micah, that's Mobley, and that's Devin Royal. And if Sean Stewart can continue to find some games like this where he gets it to 10 rebounds, that's only going to help. That's only going to help for these guys down the stretch. So we will see what they got. They're 4-5 at home now against high major teams. 10-5 overall, but 4-5 against high major teams. So you cannot lose to Northwestern. You cannot lose to Nebraska on your home court. Thanks for listening to the Encova Insurance postgame show brought to you by Encova Insurance. All rights to the material contained in this broadcast are retained as the copyrighted property of The Ohio State University and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without express written authorization. The commercial advertisements made in connection with this broadcast were made for the promotional purposes of the sponsors and should not be construed as an endorsement by The Ohio State University of the products or services. The Ohio State Sports Network is a production of Radio Ohio Incorporated. The announcers for today's game were chosen by Radio Ohio and Learfield in conjunction with The Ohio State University. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick. On behalf of our studio producer, Bodie Wells, and for Paul Keels and Ron Stokes, I'm Timmy Hall, inviting you to join us Thursday evening at 6:30 as the Buckeyes host Northwestern. We'll be on the air with the Toyota Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:45. Today's game has been brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast. Again, the final score 86-83. Ohio State falls to Michigan. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on your home of the Buckeyes. Live and local weekday mornings beginning at 6 with Morning Juice on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.